Resident Evil 3 Remake was developed by Capcom in 2020 alongside development of Resident Evil 2 Remake. 2 years have passed since then, and I think it's time to take a little look back. Reminisce, if you will, on the past. For those who are new to Resident Evil, I'll give you a super brief rundown of the story so far. A few people go to a mansion and kill some white dudes, and then somehow a really powerful guy betrays them, and honestly, it's been a while since I played the first one, so maybe I shouldn't be the one to talk about it. But let me tell you, it was quite the treat for people back in the day who liked surviving and being horrified. In all seriousness, Resident Evil 3 Remake barely has a plot, although pieces of the first game and even pieces of the second game's remake make it into this new game. From what I can tell, they even cut out quite a bit from the original Resident Evil Nemesis, probably because they were developing this and RE2 Remake at the same time, and also because they thought the multiplayer feature would save them from having to develop as much of a story mode. So what's the gameplay like? It's about the best goddamn feeling you'll ever have, while also making you feel like the biggest dumbass in the universe. You see, there's these zombie guys, and you have some guns, and you think to yourself, man, I want to take out all my inner anxieties on these poor guys in the form of hot lead. But the zombies are like, nah, and then they try to eat you. So many times, I'll just try to fucking shoot one of these guys, and they'll just move their head at the wrong fucking time. And then they swarm you, or get behind you, or Nemesis. Fucking Nemesis, man. Dude just teleports at you like a fucking Abra. And then he'll do this dumb thing where he pulls you down, and Jill's only reaction is rolling away. And I'm sure she has other reactions, but that's the only one I react with. Overall, I love the gameplay of Resident Evil, as in general. I just really enjoy it. It feels almost arcade-like, but more refined than that. Over the years, having played through RE1, the second game's remake, 4 and 5 and 7, I feel like they've all had a great gameplay balance between the amount of ammo you have and the enemies that are right in front of you. I didn't have too many issues in this one where I ever felt like I needed more ammo, but in my second playthrough, I kind of screwed myself over because I wasn't really looking around and I was being overall dumb, just, like, it's fine to rush the game, and that's not a bad thing, but it's a better idea to at least take it slow your first time and just kind of look around for ammo or the hip pouches that are pretty important. One pretty big thing to mention is the new dodge mechanic, which can help when you want to save some ammo or are feeling a bit crowded. If you're a real badass, you can escape whole groups of enemies, but I only ever did that on accident, really. The neat thing that comes with the dodge is a perfect dodge sort of thing that, if executed, slows time for a little bit and automatically centers your shot onto a target. It's a cool feature. I like it. Moving along. I know I said there wasn't much of a story to this game, so let's talk about that. After a short little cutscene, we are put in the shoes of Jill Valentine, an ex-STARS officer who was let go because she was trying to get too many answers from the situation over at the Spencer Mansion in the first game, which I kinda talked about. And that's about the extent of it. Other than her psyche is completely fucked, but they don't really go into that too much, so I won't either, I guess. So I know I just started talking about the story here, but there's this moment, and there's this thing that I saw, and Jill's just got this little toy police car, and it's not a big deal, it's fine. I mean, she worked for the police, it makes sense, you'd have a little toy police car, but I find it a little weird that she has this toy police car, and I think that she probably plays with it, and I don't know, like, maybe she picks it up every now and then, has this little soft, melancholic sort of, like, smile going on, and she just thinks to herself, those were the days. Those were the days. And then she just proceeds to, like, drive it around the room, like, vroom, vroom, you know what I mean? And basically the plot of this game is you running from a walking trash bag and not knowing what the hell is up, until you find an account inside of a lab near the end of the game that mentions what he's after, but really, I won't go into that. Brad in the beginning also gives you a little hint, saying that he's coming after STARS members, Nemesis is, and maybe in this clip you can hear him saying that. Which is cool if that's what he's saying, but still not really a lot of context for why the hell he's after us. I just think they could have shown us some sort of scene of him being created and coming after us before him just busting through a wall in a fucking trash bag and chasing us for the next 4 hours. Jill manages to escape Nemesis and meets up with her buddy Brad, and Brad dies really, really fast.
Don't think about it. I'm sorry, Brad.
And then we go to a parking garage and we drive Nemesis off the top of said parking garage. And then this dude with cool wavy hair is like, and shoots Nemesis with a fucking rocket launcher, and he's like, hey, my name's Carlos, and I'm your standard charismatic action hero who wants to get the girl, but you probably don't want me, but I'm still gonna keep asking.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
And yeah, that's Carlos.
Personal space. Okay, I get it. Let's go.
So Carlos and his commander, Mikhail
Victor.
Commander Mikhail's squad have secured a subway station and are trying to get the hell out of Dodge. But unfortunately, the power is off in the whole area. So it's up to Jill to go turn it on, I guess, by herself. I mean, she knows how to use a radio, so it can't be that hard, right?
All right, Super Cop. Here you go. We can use this to stay in contact.
I know what a radio is. I know what a radio is.
Well, after exploring this small district in Raccoon City, you eventually work your way to the substation, where you'll need to flip on the power. Right before this, you end up meeting this totally not obviously evil douchebag, Nikolai, who's Russian, just so you know.
He would have turned. Where's your sense of self-preservation?
Who just straight up kills a fellow member of UBCS, even though he pleaded with Jill saying he's not infected. Which is kind of a dick move.
What the fuck?
You get through the substation, get throat fucked by awful little spider things, and you get back to the main district, and then Nemesis is like, right back in the game. He's back in and he's chasing you. And now he's mad, but he's madder than he was before. Anyways, we get to the subway offices in town and plot a route for the train, all while being chased, and get our asses back to the station just for us to be taken to my favorite, which is a sewer level. I love sewer levels. We kill some water monsters real easily. And slowly wind our way back to the district for a third time, where Nemesis is just like really, really upset with us now. He's really done with us living. I should also mention that you can take Nemesis down, but there really isn't much value of doing it after 2 times, so I wouldn't even bother, because you get some little pieces for your handgun, but after that you just get shotgun shells, or you just get flame rounds for the grenade launcher that we got in the sewer, and it's really not much of a point to it, in my opinion. We managed to escape Nemesis once again, and managed to get on the subway train. Carlos heads out on a rescue mission for a certain Dr. Bard, who may just have a cure for the virus, which I guess we'll see later. And just when you think you're safe and all is going well, Nemesis is like, rawr, and gets you, and kills Mikhail.
Get off my train. Shit-bird!
And presumably, everybody else on the train, leaving just Jill as the sole survivor. And the biggest and really only thing going for the plot right now is Carlos has to find a man who has information on a cure to save Raccoon City. We pick up with Carlos after having made it to the police station that was in the second game, the second game that we all like and love and stuff. And we are with our buddy, I don't know his name.
Oh, it's been a while. Subway's got to be clear of the city by now.
Along with your hot date?
Nah, she's not like that. Hell, she's not like anybody.
I'm fine. I know what a radio is.
And we get to see how the officer in the first game got injured. Because our buddy Brad, our other buddy Brad, comes up and takes a big ass bite out of him. And there's this really sad moment where he's like, friend, or something like that.
Sorry.
Moving right along, we are now in the exact same mansion as in the second game's remake, which, I mentioned earlier, although for a much briefer time. Our goal is to locate Dr. Bard because, for some reason, he is supposed to be here, I guess. We wander around for a bit. Carlos comments on some things.
Now here's a weird fucking door.
Leave it. We're here for Bard.
Well, if cameras killed those things, I'd be set.
And we relive, honestly, the exact same place, just with a bit more firepower and a lot less exploration. We soon find out Dr. Bard is not here, but is instead at a hospital, which, okay, why are we here then? That's helpful. But he's in a computer, and we can't get him out of the computer, and he's really mad about it.
To do? No, negative. RPD's overrun too.
Then figure it out. So you can either sit there with your dick in your hand or send somebody who's capable of getting me the hell out of here.
I like him already.
Yeah, you would.
After Bard takes out his aggression on us, Jill gives us a quick call to let us know that everybody's dead and that nothing is good. And Carlos is like, fuck. And then we get out of there and we move right along to Jill. Jill escapes the wreckage of the subway train and makes her way to the bridge where she spots Nemesis and calls up Carlos, which we just talked about. We fight Nemesis again, who is now very dog-like, and we have to try and use some new mines that we got a little bit earlier and try to stop him when he runs along the buildings. It is a pretty good fight. I actually kind of like this fight. It's done again later on, and I really don't like that fight, but we'll get there. After the fight, Jill tries to leave the arena and gets infected by Nemesis, and half a fucking day later, a whole half a day later, Carlos comes to rescue her yet again, and now conveniently, lucky for him, has to take her to the hospital where Dr. Bard is located. And I find it a little bit of a flaw in Carlos's character that he would just drop everything, including saving an entire town of people, just to make sure one girl he's talked to maybe 5 times, who doesn't even like him, allegedly, is safe. Doesn't really make sense to me, man. Now, the hospital is probably my favorite area of the game, along with the area that comes right after. And as Carlos, you need to get to Dr. Bard so you can find the vaccine. It's not really unlike Jill's exploration earlier on, but there's something about being in a smaller, more cramped environment, and I think it's really where Resident Evil does its best. And I like the Raccoon City part, but I prefer a small area with lots to find. And I just love, I don't know, the more confined areas of Resident Evil, like the mansion, or like in Resident Evil 2, where it's basically like a mansion, but it's a giant police station, and there's all these weird little things that you have to find and puzzles that you have to do. And really the only thing you have to do in this one is you just need to find a tape and put it in a tape recorder, but it's kind of interesting. So after getting the tape, you kind of get the feeling that Dr. Bard really isn't worth saving. I mean, he had the outburst over at the police station, but...
Who do you think you're talking to? I'm goddamn Nathaniel Bard. I'm the best biologist you'll ever meet, you bedpan-changing waste of a nursing degree. Of course I have connections higher up. Of course the military consults with me on projects beyond your comprehension. If that's all, you can go back to wiping your patients' asses. That's what they pay you for, right? And polish my shoes.
He's kind of a dick, and I really don't think we should have even bothered, to be honest. I mean, get the vaccine, sure, but he's kind of an asshole.
Wow. What a douche.
We end up going into his office, and lo and behold, he's dead anyways, which is just great, because I really didn't like the guy. Carlos didn't like the guy. Nobody likes the guy. The only guy that likes the guy is the guy that's Carlos's friend. And it's probably because he's an asshole, too. Behind the dead guy is a computer that shows his final moments, and somehow teaches Carlos that Umbrella is actually bad. Like, this is the moment that Carlos has a change of heart about UBCS and Umbrella as the corporation. Like, he's just all of a sudden like, what the hell? I have been wronged. I am not who I thought I was, even though someone was trying to tell me the whole time. And you can tell that your buddy Nikolai's kind of a really bad guy, but no, this is the thing that teaches him, and that's not a bad thing. But his reaction to finding out about this is just punching just the computer, which is fine. That's a reaction, but it opens the fucking door. It unlocks the door, and it's so stupid. Carlos grabs the vaccine, gets to Jill, and after getting her the vaccine, we learn that they are planning to just bomb the whole city. Just going goodbye. And then we do a little survival sort of mission, where we have to protect Jill and Carlos's friend, and after that's over, Jill wakes up from another nightmare where she's seeing Carlos in her dreams, because maybe she does like the guy, maybe she does a little bit. And she has to kill him, but doesn't kill him, and wakes up and is like, that's scary. But when she wakes up, she's alone, and then she goes off and goes down into the underground portion of the hospital.
Jill.
Tyrell, keep going. We're almost there. No!
Now we're finally at the last section of the game, guys. The Nest 2 facility, which can be done really fast. All we need to do is find the two pieces to form a vaccine that can hopefully convince the government to not bomb the city, I think. And somehow Jill just knows how to make a vaccine. And I know there's a paper informing her and us, the player, how to do it. But it's kind of dumb that she just gets the two pieces, puts them together in a machine, and ta-da, everything is saved. We're good now. You made a vaccine. Ta-da, you're a fucking scientist, Jill. You did it. After making the vaccine, we end up meeting with our old buddy, Nikolai, who takes the vaccine from us, that's nice of him, and tells us that he's going to sell our combat data from our fights with Nemesis, which I guess is a thing that you can do. I mean, where do you even sell something like that? I have combat data of me trying to stop my cat from biting my toes, but you don't see me selling it anywhere. Nikolai then kicks us off the platform, and then my least favorite boss in the whole game happens. And maybe this is my least favorite boss in all of Resident Evil. I'm not sure, but I really fucking dislike this boss. Nemesis is still in his dog form, and just like the past fight, runs along the walls, except that this time there's these electrical generators that you can shoot to basically make him fall down. And the first time I fought him, I was honestly getting so stressed because I wasn't sure that I had enough ammo, and really throughout the whole game I've had enough ammo, and I know it's probably just the fights made to stress you out, make you feel like you gotta go, you gotta get the guy. But for me, it was just like, oh my god, dude, I don't know if I can make this. And to make matters worse, these little zomboids keep flooding into the arena to distract you from dealing with Nemesis, and it's really not like it's a bad fight, I don't think. It's just, it goes on way too long. Because there's a part also where if you get him and he's standing on top of one of these generators and you shoot him, then Carlos will help you out. And for some reason, I kept thinking, like, okay, am I supposed to try to get that to happen? That's not happening. What am I supposed to be doing? Eventually, I got him down, and overall, it's not bad. It's not that bad.
Number 3! Surprise, asshole! Jill! Here comes a crane. Use it to climb up.
Come on. Come on.
Jill, get back!
After the fight, we meet up with Carlos again, and he's like, I'm gonna go get a helicopter. And we're like, cool, but first we gotta fight Nemesis one more time, just the last time. And Jill's even like, fucking, I'm done with this. I'm so over dealing with you, man.
Look, just so you know, this is the last fucking time.
And in this fight, Nemesis is nothing but a giant deformed monstrosity, and we need to shoot his little red spots, so when he collapses, you can charge up this mega gun, and that's it. And there's really not a whole lot to this fight. It's kind of a dull final boss fight, and it's a weird way to end it. I see why they did it. There's a lot more action in this fight than him running along a wall and generators, but it's kind of weird. I don't think it's a really good ending for Nemesis. I feel kind of bad for the guy. I feel like he's been with us for so long. He means a lot to us. From trash bag to giant monstrosity, I kind of liked Nemesis. Jill ends up shoving the gun in Nemesis' mouth, like the 80s action star that she always wanted to be, and we make our way up to the helicopter. And Nikolai is waiting for us and ends up destroying the vaccine. Oh my god! He destroyed the vaccine. And then that just makes the whole plot entirely useless in about 1 second of him just destroying the vaccine, which was the whole purpose of anything that we were trying to accomplish. It just kind of deflates me a little bit, and it kind of... What the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck? Your whole goal in this game, as Carlos at least, is to get that vaccine, and then as Jill later on, you're like, I gotta make this vaccine. And you just get stopped at every point. And I get that it's an action game. I get that it's not really meant to be thought-provoking. There's not really a plot other than the characters like Carlos being... kind of has some character growth here and there. And Jill really doesn't seem to. The only thing that really matters is her psyche. And her psyche isn't really even gone into other than the 2 dream sequences of, like, she has PTSD, she's freaked out by these dogs. Like, I just don't really understand why even bother getting us a vaccine if it's just gonna be gone. The next little bit, and really the last gameplay of the whole game, is just trying to shoot Nikolai as Carlos holds him. And there's an interesting little bit here where when you shoot Carlos on accident, you can end up getting a little end cutscene almost of just like, oh no, you shot the wrong guy. But I feel like, since there's not even a second ending in this game, sorry to spoil that, but you should probably be able to at least get a second ending out of this. It would be a bad ending, obviously. You kill Carlos, Nikolai gets away, the vaccine is destroyed still either way, but then Jill would die, and I don't know, maybe it could have been done differently. Jill gets on the helicopter without Carlos, she never gets a cool boyfriend. So you shoot Nikolai, you and Carlos ride off into the sunset, and that's the end of the game. And Raccoon City explodes. And I gotta say, overall, I really like Resident Evil 3 Remake. I haven't played the first one, the original, but honestly, I really appreciated a lot of the gameplay, like I always do with Resident Evil. I really love the survival horror in really any game from Silent Hill all the way up to, I guess, Resident Evil. And I'd say it was a pretty solid game. Like, I know I was joking the whole time, and this isn't really a review. This is just me talking and kind of getting my word out there and trying to be funny, and I hope somebody sees this and thinks the same thing. And if you happen to stumble upon this video, I really appreciated your time watching it. If there's any complaints, if there's anything I could do better, just let me know. I may or may not listen to you. We'll see what I do. But I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to this guy be crazy. Bye.